My work is done here. It's been nice knowing all of you. Anyway, welcome. Welcome to the people on video who had to hear that opening line. Welcome to all of you sitting here in the seats. It's great to see you, and what a beautiful day it is, and what a beautiful day it's going to be. I pass the light to Lonnie.
Good morning, everyone. So I love the scrambling to your seats, some better than others. So hope you're all sitting down at home. So Bonnie, it's a little chilly outside.
Yes, it is.
But I think it's going to heat up in here.
I think it is too. Why?
I just got to say it. Gino's in the house.
Yes, I know. Now, if I can intervene for just a moment, you know that Gino likes to blend in, so you may not recognize her. Gino, why don't you stand up so people can see you? There you go.
That's the best part.
Yes.
So
yeah,
you're in for a treat. So glad you joined us and online. And I don't even need to say it. We're going to have fun.
We are going to have fun. Yeah. On a serious note, just to get us started, though, I have a little board policy that I need to read to you guys. As we're coming back together after COVID, there's been some mistaken identities about the way we hug one another. We've had a few complaints. So some folks are hugging others in ways that feel uncomfortable. So we made a few policy statements that we're going to invite you to share in. One is if you hug somebody, if you could ask for permission to hug, that would be helpful. You can say, "Are you open for a hug?" We respect the person's yes or their no, and we don't have to take no's personally. Before touching or hugging a child or a youth, we ask you to ask permission from their parents. And then if you're uncomfortable with a hug, please feel free to say no. You can say things like, "I don't want to hug. Please don't hug me. I need a little space right now." Okay? And if you need additional guidance, please feel free to speak with me or one of our board members or a practitioner, and we'll get you squared away, okay? So thank you very much for respecting that. And now, without further ado, let us invite, Jessica's doing the children's message. There we go. Hi, Jessica. Let's give her some love.
Good morning. Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, Reverend Bonnie.
Hi, Jessica.
This morning I'm going to open with what they call a parent's prayer. It's I found it actually in my mother-in-law's belongings, going through some of her things, and it's beautiful. I find it beautiful, and I hope you do too. It starts with, "O Spirit, make me a better parent. Teach me to understand my children, to listen patiently to what they have to say, and to answer all their questions kindly. Keep me from interrupting them or contradicting them. Make me as courteous to them as I would have them be to me. Forbid that I should ever laugh at their mistakes or resort to shame or ridicule when they displease me. May I never punish them for my own selfish satisfaction or to show my power. Let me not tempt my children to lie or steal, and guide me hour by hour, that I may demonstrate by all that I say and do that honesty produces happiness. Reduce the meanness in me, and when I am out of sorts, help me to hold my tongue. May I ever be mindful that my children are children, and I should not expect them of judgments of adults. Let me not rob them the opportunity to wait on themselves and to make decisions. Bless me with the bigness to grant them all their reasonable requests, and the courage to deny them the privileges I know will do them harm. Make me fair and just and kind, and fit me to be loved and respected, and imitated by my children. And together I say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. So if any of the kids want to come down, that's great. If not, you're welcome to stay in your seat. But if you're standing up and you want to come on down, come sit on the stage with us. Okay. Don't be shy. There you go. Hi, good to see you. Okay. All right. So we're going to sing "You Are the Face of God" to our kids. Here we go. You are the face Thank you, everyone. Okay. See you later. Have fun. Okay. Bye. Good to see you too. Thank you. All right. Okay. We'll have a word of prayer from Kathy, our practitioner.
And practitioners and ministers, you're standing in support of this prayer. I'm just so grateful for today, just knowing that this is God, this is life, this is love, and I am so grateful to participate in that. I just know that today's message is completely divinely inspired, that we are so fortunate to have Miss Gina Walker deliver this. I know that songs, I know the music are just inspiring. I know the beauty of today lifts us, that beauty lifts us and continues to lift us throughout this week. I know that as we are lifted here in our own spirit, that we continue to lift and help to lift those around us, that this message doesn't sit vacant in this spot, that it multiplies in miraculous ways. And with a heart that is just so grateful for all that has transpired, so grateful for the coming together, for the community, for the love that is in this space, I release these words into the law, knowing they are already so. And together we say,
And so it is. So it is. And so we allow it to be. As we breathe deeply and become ever more present to the inner spirit that lives and moves and has its perfect being through each of us. Let us relax, go deeper, and open our ears and our hearts to hear the words of our sacred reading.
An excerpt from This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes. I know that the law of God surrounds me with love and friendship. I permit this love and friendship to flow out to all things, to all people everywhere. I let it radiate in my environment, bless everything I touch, make whole that which is weak, turn fear into faith, and accomplish the miracle of healing through love. Whatsoever things are good and true, I shall think upon. And this I shall remember, that spirit is not far off. I shall remind myself that I live in the divine presence, that my affairs are in the keeping of the eternal mind. I live, move, and have my being in wholeness. Peace, poise, and power belong to my kingdom. I give joy and love to all, knowing that the gift of life is not to me alone. I share my good. I welcome the opportunity to love fully, completely, and joyfully. I believe in myself because I believe in God. I accept life fully, completely, without reservation, holding to the conviction that good is the eternal reality, that God is the everlasting presence, that the Christ within me is the eternal guide, and that my life is complete today.
And so in the wholeness that is so whole that it contains the appearance of brokenness, in the perfection that is inclusive of everything, in the completion that is always evolving, let us rest in this mystery and open to the I Am presence, the consciousness of heaven on earth that lives through each of us. It lives through our words, through our deeds, through our hearts. It is there whether we see it or not. This morning we consciously receive it as we remember the I Am presence. We sing together, I am remembering who I am, so that we may know the truth for ourselves, but we also know the truth of the I Am, Spirit, God, the divine, in every being in this room. And then we radiate that consciousness outward to the entire cosmos, knowing that every grain of stardust, every insect, every living and supposedly non-living thing is infused with the I Am presence. Together we sing, I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. We rest and remember the love that we are. And we breathe in deeply and exhale, opening our eyes as love, and in love, and in service to what is, as it is, and so it is.
Even a sparrow has a place to lay its head. So why would I let worry steal my breath? Even the rose you are clothed in brilliant red. Still I am loved more than this. You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything I need. even the oceans push and pull at your command, so you can touch my heart with your hand. You tell the seasons when it's time for them to change. So even when it hurts, I will claim. You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything I need. You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything I need. When I can't see you, show me. When I can't hear you whisper. When I can't stand, you carry me. When I'm lost, you will find me. When I'm weak, you are mighty. You are everything I need. You give me everything. You give me everything. You give me everything I need. You give me everything. You give me everything I need. You give me everything. Everything I need. You give me Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to be back. It's been such a long time for me, for you, to play with Chris again, to have the sexy flirtation jokes that Bonnie and I have all the time. I have missed you. I've missed all of you. And I'm happy to be here with you and on this magnificent day that we are celebrating consciousness. How powerful is that? As we're moving in this dynamic space of recognizing that consciousness and vibration are a new awareness for us to start tapping into, to move beyond just our words and affirmations, but to literally move into a feeling vibration that we begin to practice. And I know we've heard a lot of these things. I've heard them forever. But you know, when you get that, you hear it for the first time. You hear it in a way that encourages you. It inspires you to seek differently. Let's put up the reading. I love this reading. We are prisoners to outer circumstances only to the degree that we are prisoners of inner circumstances. Free the mind, and the outer circumstances will follow. If the mind, this magical, ethereal, thinking stuff that molds the surrounding world, could be properly harnessed, there is no limit to what we could achieve. I know we got to give an amen on that, right? Wallace D. Waters, is it Waddles? Waddles. Yeah, I forgot. I couldn't see that for a minute. I mean, We are what I call in the Aquarius age right now. So it is time for all of us as spiritual seeds, spiritual vibrations, to root even deeper in our practice. My talk today is about living in answered consciousness. When I first heard that, I was like, whoa, living in answered consciousness. Because consciousness creates everything. Every. Like the song, everything. It gives us everything. It gives us what we want. It gives us what we don't want. And when we recognize that we are at the controls, we came here to be in this divine, magnificent space to create a greater expression of what each and every one of us could be. We leave a path for all to follow, to awaken to. Everything that's unfolding right now gives us an opportunity to wake up to who and what we are choosing to be, how we are choosing to live, how we are choosing to love, how we are choosing kindness. There is God and none else. You know, if you have property, you have an appraisal that comes in to value the property. I think sometimes we forget the value of who we are. We are God presence. We are God beings. And when our appraisal comes in sometimes, comes in a little low. Comes in a little low. Be like, what? Wait. How did I'm supposed to be here? Nope, comes in a little low. And we got to work our way to something. But when you recognize that you are it, we are the fish in the ocean. There is no other water. We already in it. Now that we are in this, let's start valuing who we are. Recognize when you get up in the morning, you want to appreciate the truth of who you are, not who someone else wants you to be. It's time to let all those stories go. I met this beautiful, sweet angel we were having a workshop, and she had some choice words about her mother. And everybody's like, oh. And I just asked the question. I said, well, where is your mom? Oh, she said, oh, my mother's dead. I said, for how long? 10 years. I said, 10 years. So you still living with your mama 10 years later? We can't blame this on mama. This is all you. So we want to recognize the value of who we are, the value of our stories. Yes, it was tough. It was rough. Some of us had some very painful experiences. But your gift of that experience helps others to live a greater essence. I always believe that. I just had a friend of mine that recently, it took me a minute to wrap my head around this. From October to December, her sister made her transition, her brother, her mother, and then her husband. Each individually, not, I was like, oh, if it was in a car crash or something, you start making up stories in your head. I could understand that because they were all together. But this was each individual. And I wondered, wow, what type of consciousness do you have to be able to stand? She called me to sing at her husband's celebration. And I had to keep reminding myself, let me not reflect my fear. Let me not reflect my doubt. Let me not reflect anything on her. Be this space of love and consciousness. And so when I walked in and she saw me and she just lit up and said, hey, Gino, she said, the party's on now. And I was like, ooh. I know it's a celebration, but do you really want me? And she was like, yes. I thought, wow. And of course, there are definitely deep times of grief. There was a letter that she read from some of her family that couldn't even be there because they were still settling things with her mother. But I looked at this woman and recognized that she didn't wake up this morning in that state. She had been practicing this consciousness that she believed in. We say we believe in a power and a presence within us, and yet the moment it gets a little tricky, we start hesitating, start figuring it out, let me do it myself. We leave the very source and substance that we are. We forget how powerful we are. Let me hear you say, I am. Now, see, you say it like you don't really mean it. If you recognize that you are the power and the presence of God that woke up this morning, that came out to celebrate that I am standing here as God, shining my light, I am. I am. I think I believe you now. I mean, that's the energy and power that we are living with. And so I'm loving that I'm moving into this aspect of vibration. Because living in consciousness, when I remind myself that, oh, everything is created out of consciousness, everything. I was driving here on Thursday and ran into some very deep traffic. So I was listening to some things, and then I heard my mind go off on a tangent of negativity. I said, oh, Gino, you are in the car by yourself. Nobody has called you. Nobody has texted you. And yet you are in a negative conversation with somebody that is not thinking about you. This is what we do. And then when they do call or when they do text, we're coming from a whole nother perspective. Well, how dare they? We must become observers of ourselves, recognizing when we are in this negative conversation. And what was so beautiful and crazy is like, okay, I was like, I got it. Stop it, Gino. Stop it. I drove about another 2 minutes and I was in another one. I was like, oh, there it is again. This was a different one, but it was happening again. I was like, oh, this is the practice. So consciousness, living in a state of answered consciousness is very different than just living in consciousness. I'm a conscious being. I'm aware of the divine power and the presence. I know that God is all that there is. But when I am numb to living in answered consciousness, and you ask, what is answered consciousness? It's joy. It's gratitude. It's happiness. It's thanksgiving. For those that remember, it's praise. Hey, hallelujah. It's living in that state of awareness. And it's practicing that. I'm a big fan of Abraham Hicks. And Abraham, I don't care who got up there, they tell you all the time, we got one message, that's it. It may sound different to you, but it's just one message. And they would always talk about, why do you want anything anyway? It's to feel good. And I was like, yeah, but that's just not enough. God needs to know how good I really want to feel. Because God may be confused. And I remember for so long, it wasn't enough for me to feel just good. I wanted to create a scenario. And now, we in this step, don't jump over there yet. We right here, stay right here with me. So in recognizing when Abraham was talking about, you want it because you want to feel good. So just feel good. Find something to feel good about. I was like, but no, wait a minute, Abraham. I need to direct how the feeling good is going to be. Because perhaps God could get confused while I'm in the midst of this. And it took me the longest. I was like, well, yeah, I feel good, but I wasn't satisfied. That wasn't enough. Feeling good wasn't enough. Feeling good wasn't going to expand me. And then I had one of those, oh, I heard it very differently. Because everything is made from consciousness. And my concern that I would not receive what I wanted. And Abraham used to say all the time, so what if you get more than what you've even thought about? And that didn't register. It's like, no, because I need to get this right here. This is what I need. And that's a consciousness of practice that we get into of need and wanting. And usually all day at some point it's coming in and out, in and out. But to practice just feeling good, and I say just feeling good, because there's still a part of me that goes, is it really enough? Is feeling joy enough? Will that make my life brighter? Will it lighten me up? And I'm like, every time I do it, yes, it does. It feels really good. So when I shifted and I'm starting this practice of living in answered consciousness, it is a practice, and do understand we must practice. I think some of the things that have been left out is people don't understand you have to practice. I don't just get up and sing on Sunday morning. Sometimes I do. But I have practiced enough to be able to do that. So in our consciousness, we must begin a new practice. If you find yourself reading the same books, listening to the same people, sometimes you got to shake it up so that you can start to hear differently because you're getting the same response. Now, if you're getting what you love and life is fantastic and great, I'm all with it. Keep it going. And we all have times when we are in that zone. We are just like tuned in. It's like, bam. But too much of the time, we spend in wanting, we spend in need, or we spend in fear. And we wonder why the world looks so crazy to us. Or maybe it's the eyes that you're looking with. The butterflies are still flying. I love butterflies. You know, sometimes I'm walking and they'll be flying right along with me. I'm like, I have practiced for you. I have to remind myself. That's why you're coming around, because I've been practicing. I practice seeing butterflies all over me. I had an experience, it's probably been about 12 years ago. I was living in the valley, and I was out walking my little dog, and I tell you, it had to be well over 500 butterflies. They just swarmed me, and I was in the middle, and my dog was trying to bite them, and I was like, oh my, I was like, oh my God. I wanted to have that experience again, but I realized that every time I see a butterfly, it reminds me that I've been practicing that thought. I've been practicing how good that feels to see butterflies. All the things that you want, whatever it is, if we could just put it over here and go, for the next month, I'm going to practice feeling good. Not for a car or $1 million or, well, that's not that much now, $10 million. You're not even in the club for $1 million now. Maybe it's health. And I understand that when it's very present, money, health, home, those things they're right here. They're right here. But if we don't practice feeling good, if that doesn't become a priority, that to feel good, to feel joy, and maybe some days, and I'm not saying you got to be like, hey! You may not be able to do that every day, and I get it. But can you get to the butterfly? Can you smell a flower when you're on a walk? Can you say hello to somebody and they not say anything back and be like, can you just be in the joy? Like, I chose to say hello. I chose to give them a smile. Can you smile at yourself? I used to, and I didn't realize that this was a spiritual technique, but there were some times in my earlier days that things would get really crazy, and I didn't know what to do but laugh. So I would make myself laugh. I would lay on the floor and just laugh, laugh. I would just laugh. And I had forgotten that for a long time. But it would shift. Did things automatically change in the outside world? No. That's one of these things we got to get over with. Got to stop thinking that Houdini's out here doing something. Whoop, 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 whoop. But I will say, as you practice being more joyful, being more in a happier state, things will unfold for you that you cannot even begin to understand. You will meet people, places, and things and times that human mind, you could have done all the jostling that you wanted to do, would not be able to make that happen. So it comes down to living in answered consciousness. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to you? Is it worth you making some changes in your daily life to be in a more joyous state? Are you willing to do that without seeing, looking outside the window? Oh, did the car show up? Nope, not yet. Okay. Did my bank account change? Nope, not yet. Are you willing to be in a practice of the I am presence? If the bank account's not looking like what it is, say, I am is my bank account. Do you know God's bank account never has insufficient funds? Never, ever. Now, you may have some insufficient funds, but understand the consciousness is being insufficient. It's just a practice. So I had to start talking to myself more gently. Okay, Gino. And I like talking out loud because I need to hear it. Yeah, I need to hear what I'm saying. Because otherwise I slip into that negative hole. So when you're in a problem, if you are in a problem trying to figure out a problem, you're going to come up with some more problems. That's just the way it works. You in the problem, trying to figure out a problem, and now you got more problems. We just have to realize that. I remember that recently, I live in San Diego now. And I give a shout out to my community there, Universal Spirit Center. Wonderful community, like yourselves. I live in North Park, and great area, but parking can be very tedious. Very, very tedious. I mean, I don't have a parking space. So I'm driving around some nights when I come in, driving around. And there are times that I've parked in the red. And I remember saying to myself, oh, hope I don't get a ticket. Hope I don't get a ticket. Come out the next day, I'd be like, hey, I didn't get a ticket. All right. Didn't get a ticket. A couple other times parked, oh, hope I don't get a ticket. Oh, didn't get a ticket. All right. They probably don't even ticket this place. This is fantastic. All is well. You know, and I have to say, I did this game for a lot of months. Other day, I got a ticket. I'm like, oh, I got a ticket. And I'm like, Gino, you've been preparing for a ticket for months. Every time you parked in the red and you came out and you didn't get a ticket, oh, didn't get a ticket, but it's coming. We do this to ourselves. We do. And so when I got I took the ticket off my window and I was like, you can't be mad at the meter maid. You have been calling them to you. So I got in the car. I said, oh, I got a ticket. I was like, okay, what can you do in this moment with this ticket? Like, well, I'm looking at it right now, pissed off that I got a ticket. I'm like, well, it's not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. I'm like, okay, the universe will provide. But what I'm going to do next time, universe, how I'm going to do it next time, because you know how the parking is. I was like, You have got to clean that consciousness up, little lady, because you're not moving anytime soon. Not that I know of. But I did have one of my dear friends text me, hey, Chino, there's a place in my neighborhood for rent. I was like, why is he texting me that? I'm like, well, never know. But I sat there with that ticket for a few minutes so I could get to a place of just like, okay, this is not the end of the world. This gives you an opportunity in the midst of this. Where's the answered consciousness? I was like, oh, that's a good one, because right now I'm not feeling it. I'm like, but the answered consciousness is here. Well, the universe is abundant and never without. This ticket will provide for others. This is a circulation that you're part of, Gino. I'm like, hey, I'm part of the circulation. I'm helping people do other things. I said, universe, I can do it in other ways, and I do. I'd like to not have this experience again, but I'm all right. Everything's okay. This does not have to derail my day. This does not, because, there are times when those things happen, then all the conversation after that is just negative, negative, negative. Life is not working. I don't like this person. Why is my family like that? And we just go on a tirade. And you look up, 6 hours have gone. Well, you have been practicing negativity for 6 hours. I have to break it down to myself like that so I can really realize, like, this is the value of who and what you are. If you don't take the time to stop the train keeps on going. And so you're caught in a cycle of creating things that you do not want. That you do not want. And you do not deserve them. But until you can understand that, until you can speak like, oh, I got it. Sometimes it's like, okay, I don't know what to think, but I don't want to think that. And so for me, nature is a great way to instantly get back connected. The commitment to do it is another thing. It's like everybody joined the gym in January. Everybody join the gym in January. If they make it to March. And I think it's a new year. You realize that all over the world, people are celebrating a new year. And yet, we continue to keep doing the same thing. There's a lot of energy. Everybody's excited about it. 2024 is coming. Things are going to change. My life is going to be new for 2 weeks. You committed to yourself for 2 weeks. And then I don't have to pray this morning. I don't have to read anything this morning. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to feel good. I got to go to work. The importance of living in a consciousness of joy is powerful. It will bring about new conversation in your world. It will bring about new people in your world. It will lead and guide you on pathways that open up a whole new arena. But it has to be important for you to practice it. You have to want it and not, and I'm talking to myself right now because I'm like, I know you want certain things. The universe, that's what we're here for. We ask for something, the universe say, got it. And then we go, well, where is it? I don't see it. Where is it? Where is it? I don't see it. I don't have it. It's not coming. And then we spend 6 years. I don't see it. I never got it. The love of my life never came. The one that I did get, I didn't really care about, but 6 years. 6 years. We 6 years have gone by like that. That's where we've been in. We've been in that. 6 years. Like, oh. Then you wonder, like, well, why I can't find love? Well, for 6 years, you've been saying love is not enough. You haven't loved yourself enough. The value of who we are is so powerful. If you can decide today, this is how important it is. Most of us don't think about breathing. We don't wake up going, oh, okay, yes, I can still breathe. We take it for granted. But breathing, I think, is pretty important. I mean, I've had trouble breathing before, and it's a job when you can't breathe with ease and flow. So if you can decide today that be it joy, happiness, be it feeling good, be it beauty, let's just do a little vibrational thing right here real quick. So you want to take a deep breath. And I want you to feel this feeling of whatever joy is for you. Just feel it right now in this moment. Just tap into that feeling vibration of joy. Let it rise within you. Let your whole beingness just feel this nectar of joy. How sweet it is. Just because. No reason needed. Because it feels so good. It feels so good to be in this joyous state. And even if you can only do it for half a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, if you can begin to practice this feeling 2-3 times a day, when you go to text, instead of texting like, oh, let me just take a moment and feel good right here. Let me just feel good. Feel this joy. That's living in answered consciousness. That's living in a higher vibration because we are vibrational beings.
Let's give Gina some love. Great job. Gino. As you were speaking, I want you all to visualize this. When Gino turned a certain age that had a 0 after it, we went up in a hot air balloon together. And that was quite a ride. I was there like this, and Gina was feeling the joy. She's like, look at that, look at that, look at that. It's so much fun. Such a joy to have you here, and thank you for praying. And now Lonnie's going to talk about the offering. Yay. Thank you. And then you sing. Okay. Then you sing, okay.
That figured out.
Yes, right.
Oh, what a answered consciousness. I love that.
Yes, thank you. Your answered prayer.
Yes.
Yes, you are. Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. What an intention. So this morning, it's what's a beautiful demonstration of practicing our well-being, the well-being of our community, the joy. So I invite you this morning as you prepare your offering, is just sit in that place of answered consciousness and practice. We have a beautiful community that we can practice this together, and we'll do that this morning. So I invite you to place your offering over your heart and repeat after me. We trust in spirit.
We trust in spirit.
Love is a giver and receiver of all that we are.
Love is the giver and receiver of all that we are.
We offer this gift.
We offer this gift.
It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
Our gifts bless many
Our gifts bless many
and return to us multiplied in miraculous ways,
and return to us multiplied in miraculous ways,
so that we may give again.
so that we may give again.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Honor clear day. Rise and look around you, and you'll see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star you feel part of. Every mountain, sea, and shore you will hear from far and near. Oh, well, you never before. And on that clear day, on a clear day, you will see forever and evermore. On a clear day, rise and look around you, and you'll see who you are. On that clear day, how it will astound you that the flow of your being outshine every star you feel part of. Every mountain, sea, and shore you will hear from far and near. Oh, well, you never heard before. And on a clear day, on a clear day, you will see forever and ever and ever
So today's flowers are going home with, let's read the card first. Happy birthday to my life's adventure partner. Thank you for who you are for me and the world. 459 Jim. So happy birthday, Lacey. Where are you? There's a slide for that. I can't hit that. No, well, I can, but it's not pretty. So there it is. There's Lacey. Happy birthday. And speaking of Lacey, because this is the Lacey show today. No, it's not. But she's our ambassador. So if you are new to our center and you would you want to have any questions, or you just want to make contact with somebody, Lacey, who has a teal stole, and Pam, who's in the back, who also has a teal stole, will love to answer your questions. Taking that moment. I love that idea of just remembering joy. Just be happy. Just be joyous. Just be God. because God is all there is in everything as everything. That one simple truth, that one simple knowing and remembering. Remembering that as God is all there is, I know that I am this perfect emanation of God in this moment. And I know that truth isn't just my truth. That truth is the truth of everybody in this sanctuary, everyone outside of the sanctuary, everyone hearing this word. We are all perfect emanations of that one divine consciousness. And from that place of wholeness, that place of divinity, that place of truth, I know that we are all living this blessing of life, that we are all blessings. This time together is a blessing. This week that is unfolding perfectly is a blessing. I know every single person that we meet is a blessing. Every single person, whether they worship here this Sunday, whether they worship in mosques, ashram, gurdwaras, temples, even if they're worshiping as surfers out there on the ocean today, all divine and all blessings. And I'm grateful to know this truth, grateful to know life as a blessing, grateful to know life as divine. And I release my word into the universal law, and together we say, and so it is.